This is so gross, man. Chat! This is the woman that slept with 1,000 men, and then she says it's perfectly normal for women to do it. Yep.
Going out to do a country walk.
I don't think I can take any more of this.
Me neither, lady!
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by MyHeritage. Now, as most of you probably guessed, I
can't stop thinking about her having
really planning on talking about OF
yes,
again.
She had that on her face,
dedicated to singular fans. This close to the last video that I made about it. But of course, even in that very, very short space of time, some things have happened, and I feel compelled to jump back in. Because apparently, I love suffering. But apparently you do too, which is why I guess I'm now like your weird mama bird that's vomiting stories into your little mouths. Look, it's not a perfect analogy, but you get the idea. Anyway, in a video I made very recently, I discussed two OF mattress performers, Bonnie Blue, whose real name is Tia Billinger.
Oh, mattress performers,
and Lily Phillips. And I basically made the argument that women are doing more and more extreme things in order to grab more market share of the platform as it becomes more and more saturated.
That's what happens with most things, too. That involve themselves with like money and like property. You just get more and more extreme. I've noticed that in VTubing as well to some extent. You see someone debuting and it's like, I never VTubed before and I'm gonna do like a 46-hour stream, and it's like, that's not healthy, man. You shouldn't do that.
Because for some inexplicable reason, women seem to believe that this is a viable job solution opportunity thing that will, I don't know, get them out of poverty or something. But nope, you're just...
It can get you out of poverty, but it's unlikely. It's like being really, really poor and wanting to become a really big streamer overnight because it'll solve all your problems. It's not going to do that. It's just not. Sorry.
Putting your pink bits on the internet for $5 a month. And really, genuinely, I thought that I could leave it there. I thought that I'd made my point about these absolute weirdos and I could just walk away, weeping, but walking away nonetheless. Turns out I was wrong, because not 2 weeks after publishing that video, these two women were back to doing more disgusting things. And because it's like one giant car crash, I can't look away. On January 12th, Billinger posted to Twitter to say that she had reportedly done the Devil's Tango with over 1,000 men in a 12-hour span. Yeah.
Imagine the smell, bro. Actually disgusting.
Yes, if you're doing the maths here, that's 40 seconds per man. I too have
40 seconds? You don't even get a minute!
You've had 1,000 men inside of you today.
Yeah.
What hurts more, your mouth or your...
Probably down
that
a little bit. I don't need a wheelchair, like I am...
I look at just to clarify that. I don't need a wheelchair.
Fine. Just feels like I've had a heavy day in the bedroom, which is exactly what I've had. I think if it had continued how it did for the first sort of 3-4 hours, I would have struggled.
Let's get a round of applause in the room, people.
Wow. That's what we're clapping for. Poggers in the chat. Guys, can we get some poggers in the chat?
There we go.
What are you applauding? Herpes? The day before, she posted a series of pictures and videos showing her doing more adult activities.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm gonna call them adult activities. Doing adult activities with men, having them hold pieces of paper indicating where she was in the lineup of pollen touches to her magical flower patch. Obviously, and I hope none of you expected me to do this, I will not be showing you the videos of these magical pollen touches, nor will I be describing them. I lack the vocabulary for that.
Chat, for logistical reasons, 1,000 people, you can't trust 1,000 people to not give you a disease. You just can't. I'm sorry. Like, you can be like the safest hoe you could possibly be, but you will get one.
Besides the obvious.
And you're spreading it.
Anyway, Billinger did this reportedly a full 12 hours faster than her fellow mattress dweller Lily Phillips, who recently went viral for saying that she was trying to bed 1,000 men in 24 hours.
Someone said she needs Lysol. No, she needs Lysol for her, like, hoo-ha, man. My God, dude. 23!
I want to be the first person to be with 1,000 guys in one day.
Legit.
There's nothing behind those eyes. And I don't mean, like, she's stupid. She is. But, like, there's just something, like, hollow. Maybe it's the angle. I don't know. I don't know if I would have shot it from this angle.
Realistically, how long are you going to spend with each man?
In out, I'm hoping a couple seconds at most.
What am I even doing here? Now, on its own, I really didn't think that there was all that much to comment on, because really, what more is there to say about a topic that I've discussed at length and very recently made a video about? I spent somewhere in the...
How is this not a crime? That's what I want to know. Like, I know in some states it's a crime to, like, spread diseases knowingly, and, like, if they find out that you tried to sleep with 1,000 men, and, like, you logistically just can't, like, filter. It's not like you're doing the deed 500 times with 2 dudes or 1,000 times with 1 guy. It's 1,000 men. You can't trust them. And I don't mean this as, like, a disparaging thing towards, like, the men as well. It's like, what if they don't know? What if they're not presenting? What if they got it and they didn't know about it and they're not, like, showing symptoms? Like, you can't. Even with girls, like, what if a dude's doing a girl? Like, you can't.
30 minutes just the other week telling you all about how bizarre I think all of this is. And how much I yearn to fling myself into the sun. Not to mention, I always like to kind of hang back and observe from the sidelines and see if anything new happens or if there's anything more that I can find out about something to just keep things new and interesting for all of you. But you want to know what also requires some patience, but in a good way? Finding out about your ancestry, which is why today's video is sponsored by MyHeritage. Understanding your roots is important. The family kind. Not the tree kind. You can learn about yourself and your family, like who may have been
This is not the
gunslinger
DNA chat
or
stuff,
a
chat.
serial killer. Sydney, no. And because
She's
I have
Australian, she
always
probably-
wanted to learn more about my history.
This is a joke, but she's Australian. She probably has some of that ancestry, chat.
Because my family is from all over Europe, I was really excited to partner with MyHeritage to find out more about my family tree. With MyHeritage, I've been able to trace my family back to the 1600s on my dad's side. This, for example, is my great-great-great-great-grandfather. What a lookup. MyHeritage actually lets you upload images like this and enhance them, colorize
Please don't make them move. I hate that so much.
them, or even animate them, which is like so unbelievably cool. I've also been able to correct some less understood things on my mother's side, like the actual maiden name of her grandmother. And all of this was actually reasonably easy to do, because MyHeritage is home to over 19 billion historical documents from all over the world that help you find records of your family members. Like this census here for my grandma, who may or may not have lied about her age, or this other census where my grandfather's name is mysteriously spelled with a V instead of a B. MyHeritage also has a feature called Instant Discoveries, where, with a handful of known family members, it will start piecing together your family tree for you. So if you too want to learn more about your roots, then click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to start your MyHeritage 14-day free trial. And if you love it, which I'm certain you will, you'll get 50% off your MyHeritage subscription as well. On January 11, 2025, remember, very importantly, the same day that Bonnie Blue was supposedly doing...
Can I say something? They both look like they're about, like, 35 plus. I don't know what it is about them, but they look really old for their age. And they're both, like, what, 25, 23? It's crazy work what plastic surgery does to you.
doing adult things with hundreds of men. Lily
they're
Phillips
Botox,
posted a video teasing that she'd be going out in public with man pickle moisturizer all over her face if she got enough retweets. I'm gonna say in advance, I am genuinely sorry.
If it's fine for YouTube, surely.
Sorry about some of the clips that I'm going to include in this video. Normally, I try not to disgust and traumatize all of you, but I do think that there is some level of necessity to demonstrating what I'm talking about, because I don't think that just describing it does it justice. So sorry in advance. I do understand if you hate me.
Going out. Do you think anyone will say anything?
And apparently she did, because the following day, the same day, mind you, Bunny Blue announced that she had broken the whole world record. Lily Phillips posted yet another video where she is seen walking the streets with a face glistening with tiny swimmers. Yes, this is exactly what you think it is.
Dude, she's a nymphomaniac!
There's like cars going by. I don't think anyone will notice. I think it looks like a bit like a face mask.
What is wrong with you? Okay, it's still blurred.
Of course,
okay.
unsurprising to none of you, this
Holy
went
fuck,
extremely
man.
viral, but I still didn't feel like there was enough to talk about. Until yesterday, when I came across...
That is so vile, and it's so... It's degenerate because it's like, there's kids walking on a stream. Like, fine, okay, you're being a weirdo in the bedroom and you want to walk around and you want to be proud of all the goop on your face, but like, why?
Another video that Billinger had posted to social media
It's like
on
public,
January
it's
14th.
disgusting.
She captioned the post, and you guys are gonna love this one. "Don't worry, wives. This is proof your husbands used protection."
Okay.
Yes, very comforting. In the video,
Thank you.
Billinger is essentially doing a snow angel on the floor, unclothed in a sea of
Ew! 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 You can still get diseases like that! Bro, stop! It's not funny!
man pickle
She literally doesn't care!
latex, if you know what I mean.
Ew!
I've been wanting to do that all day.
She's like actually an nymphomaniac. You should be in jail. I'm not joking. This is not funny. That is so foul. The only thing she didn't fucking do is stuff it in her mouth and like fucking gag on it. We used to send people like that into fucking asylums, man.
This is someone's daughter. Listen, just be great.
It's not even about the whole it's a daughter. It's like my brother, she's a hazard to public safety, man. Nymph should be in jail. You're if I have to explain it to you, you don't get it. You just don't understand what I'm saying. It's
Well, I gave her
fine.
some clothes, okay? Not just for YouTube, but, you know, for me. Because
Yeah.
I am uncomfortable. I feel
Yeah,
like these
me too.
women are turning me into a prude. Bunny Blue is the reason I fast forward kissing scenes in movies. I have trauma. Anyway, after seeing this, feeling revulsion and disgusted by it, and then putting together the timeline, I've arrived at the conclusion that Bunny Blue and Lily Phillips are locked in some sort of degeneracy battles.
Unless she's intentionally spreading diseases, I think she should be in a mental hospital, not jail. Organizing a sleepover for 1,000 men, and you don't think she's doing it intentionally? You think a police guy would be like watching her do this, and then the condom rips, and then she like says, "Oopsies, I can't stop." Like, how do you hold people like that accountable? You can't. Therefore, she's very likely spreading diseases. If she's not, I'd be impressed, but it's like a 90% chance at this point.
who can outdo the other one. And I'm apparently not the only person that has put this connection together.
Biohazard,
You guys
yeah.
are probably listening to this like, that's so interesting, Sydney, and water is wet. An article published on January 17 discussed the dangers of excessive amounts of backhole fun times posed to Lily Phillips as she embarks on the, quote, backdoor challenge.
Oh my god. She wants to turn her fucking butt inside out. I learned that from Seth, by the way. I did not know that there was a possible, but there's a... Yeah. Yeah, there's a way. Yep. I learned that from Seth. There's a video of Seth talking about that prolapsed butts or coochie prolapses. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Scheduled to take place on January 21.
Yeah.
Even this article makes the point that it seems that these two women are playing a dangerous game of one-upmanship, as the two content creators are continuing to set themselves so-called challenges, each more extreme than the last.
You know what they should do is, like, they should do the deed, parachuting or paragliding. And then, like, they're like, oh, you're too scared. You can't pull the jacket fast enough for the parachute. And then one of them's like, no, I'm gonna pull it when it's 5 seconds from the ground. And then, like, oopsie doopsie, they became pancakes. I'm not asking for them to die, but that's like the extreme sports that they should be engaging in, not spreading diseases like those.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. Two women locked in a battle of who can
parachutes
put the
are for
most things
chickens.
in their bodies in short periods of time. I hate this timeline. Another article I happened across the other day was headlined, Lily Phillips breaks her silence after Bonnie Blue swipes the 1,000 men in a day record. What a headline. It said that people have been waiting to see Phillips' reaction. Okay, I do just have to add, guys,
who the hell cares? I'm not gonna lie. Why do we care about her reaction?
I really think this is a gross, overstated thing. I don't think anyone's sitting around waiting for this woman's reaction to some other ho doing this stuff. Like, really, what are we doing here? Okay, anyway. So it says that people are waiting for Phillips' reaction to basically having the world record ripped out from under her, and she's finally broken her silence with an odd skit. The skit in question is a video Phillips made with fellow friend of the mattress, Lena the Plug, and her husband, Adam 22. In the clip, Phillips joked that Adam was crying because he was number 999 in the queue, if you know what I mean.
It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. You had fun, right? It was fun.
I guess.
Oh, baby.
They're married? Okay. I fucked up.
I am sorry to you guys, but I'm mostly sorry to me. The article goes on to ask what this video means, like it's that deep, and wants to know if this is a confirmation that Phillips will take a run at also doing the higgledy-piggledy with 1,000 men like she originally intended. But more than that, these two have seemingly...
No, they should do 2,000 people, and then 3,000, and then eventually their hoo-ha collapses and they have to go to the hospital. Nobody ever hears of them again.
Been at this back and forth for a longer period of time than many of us realized. Back in August 2024, around the time that she had been deported from Australia for trying to defile our teenage boys, she appeared on the Australian radio show
Australian
Kyle and
W.
Jackie O. During her appearance, she made the argument that all men should cheat on their wives if their wives aren't servicing them, so to speak, at home. This did not go over well at all with the host Jackie O, who basically let Billinger know that she was a giant bag of shit.
I actually think it makes you a better partner, because then you can come home, deal with your wife's whinging, you know, you can get on with looking after the kids, and you can still do that part of your life, but you're just sneaking off.
But if a man says it's misogynistic... Yeah, that makes sense.
elsewhere to get pleasured.
Oh, I don't like what you're saying
this is
at
for
all.
this is for
and you're a
people.
woman.
Like, if they're going to work and doing a hard day shift, they need to be treated. And if the women aren't doing that...
But if a man says it, it's bad.
You just think women should service men, and it's all about like them being happy when they come home from work.
Say you should be listening to my advice now. Say,
Your
go
advice
home, put some nice
is so
underwear on.
ridiculous.
Can't believe the shit that is coming out of your mouth. Honestly, it's so pick me. Are you?
I don't need to approve me. I am already been chosen. Like, I am the main character.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not married. You're just servicing men. There's a difference between being a married woman and offering to friggin' service your man. Should be servicing your woman too, by the way. Just saying. It goes both ways. It's a two-way street. You can't just, like, you know, get everything.
Sat here and you're calling up from what? Your car? To your husbands and their partners, they pay my bills and my family's bills and have made me a millionaire.
What?
Can sometimes, and men can never get over that betrayal.
Oh, yeah.
And that destroys a person. So you're encouraging that, and that's what I have a problem with.
We all talk about being happy and do what's best for you. And if her isn't the best thing, then yeah, he needs to go elsewhere.
Oh.
In an interesting turn of events, Lily Phillips took exception to these comments, and when asked about them during a podcast a few months later, she said that this view of adult relations between husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, was a really bad one.
It just gives us the name that we're only here to have with, and that's all we offer.
Yes.
It just gives us the name that we're only here to have with, and that's all we offer is. I think as well it's quite dangerous then for domestic abuse and stuff like that, because men then feel entitled to women's bodies. You know, if some girl watches that and is like, right, well, I need to be having...
You can't say that after you take 100 guys. God, this hurts my brain. Like, I would understand if a woman that was like, I don't know, like in a child marriage previously and got divorced, but like hearing this coming out of their mouth is just sad. I don't know. Just doesn't sound real.
To my partner, otherwise he's gonna go cheat. Then you're just having sex for his enjoyment because you feel like you have to do it. And personally, I think if you feel like you have to have sex with someone, like that feels like non-consensual to me. If you're just having sex because you feel like you have to.
Don't get me wrong, I do actually admire her spirit here, because I too am of the opinion that the communion of love should be predicated on love and mutual respect and other pleasant feelings. But I also feel like we're maybe lacking in a little bit of self-awareness here, Lily.
Well, that's why it doesn't sound genuine. Exactly.
A little. Were you not crying yourself a month later, having had adult interactions with 100 men saying you disassociated? Did I imagine that? Did I make that up?
Sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like it's not like normal sex at all.
I really do.
Yeah, it's almost like it's an intimate act. Yeah, it's crazy.
I admire her spirit, but the logic is not sound. Although I suppose that most of us don't go to OF ladies for their logic. That's not their primary function. Anyway, I think the reason why I felt compelled to say something again in such a short period of time is because I think I finally hit the wall, or at least I'm nearing hitting the wall, on just how out in the open all of this degeneracy is. I guess in days gone by, before everybody had a little thing in their pocket with the internet on it, accessing this kind of material was something that you had to actually seek out. You had to put in effort to find it. You had to go out and try. But now we seemingly cannot get away from it.
There's 13-year-old kids that know what an OF is now. When I was 13, I didn't even know you could look up porn online. Genuinely. I just didn't know because I didn't care. Yeah. Unfortunately, yes, it's very disappointing. Very sad.
Out in the open to the extent that I can go on a social media platform and it's right there. And it's not just women being cute in a bikini or something like that. It's graphic stuff that again, I don't think I'm a prude, but I don't want to see this. Why is this here? And it's so normalized to the extent that you can have two women who make this content full time battling it out on the internet to see who can outdo the other one with their antics. And of course, like,
let them outdo each other. Set an example for everyone else when one of them passes away or gets seriously hurt. I know it's cruel to say, I might get shit for it, but like, at a certain point, they're adults and let them fucking figure it out. I don't know.
I have previously mentioned, all of this feels
degenerate
like this giant race to the bottom. With these women also seemingly not realizing that what they're doing right now is going to have major emotional, mental, physical consequences somewhere down the line. I think a really interesting side-by-side comparison is with the woman who originally set this whole world record, a woman called Kim Halsey, best known by her stage name Houston. Now, back in the 90s, Halsey became very popular in these kind of circles for breaking the world record for the most sausages hidden in her cave in one session. And like today, this was made into an adult film. Do you guys remember when you had to go to like shops to do things and you couldn't just access things from this weird little square in your pocket? Remember that? Remember Blockbuster? Not that you could get these kind of videos at Blockbuster. If you wanted to do that, you had to find a shop with the random neon sign and the stairs leading down into a basement and just...
It's funny because I watched The Simpsons and I didn't get those jokes at all when I was a kid. I was like, what the hell is this supposed to mean? Dirty tapes? What is that? They got dirt on them?
Hope for the best. Halsey successfully did the Devil's Tango with a total of 620 men.
Holy!
And similar to the likes of Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, Halsey portrayed herself publicly as empowered and successful, but in reality, and the sad reality is that she was suffering emotionally and mentally. Even in order to get the role in the film that basically put her on the map, she had to do very taboo, very inappropriate, and I guess weird things with one of the film's producers. In her 2012 autobiography, she wrote that while she agreed to do all of it, the producer did everything in his power to degrade and humiliate her during this as much as humanly possible. Speaking of the 620 men event itself, Halsey wrote that one by one, they climbed on top of me and their faces became a blur.
She's dissociating, girl.
God, this is so grim. After the 500th man, Halsey wrote that
500th man!
Something was collapsing inside me, physically and emotionally. I felt as if somebody had aimed a flamethrower at my crotch. I retreated backstage and applied ice to my swollen and battered lady parts, fighting back tears.
Bro, like her internal insides are just like collapsing inside. Cause like how the hoo-ha works is like it's fleshy, spongy, and it like lubricates itself naturally. If you do it enough times, that shit will break apart.
This, at least to me,
the muscles
feels
tear,
very reminiscent
or like
of
the spongy
Lily Phillips
part.
crying after her incident with 100 men, or Bonnie Blue posting a video going over the bruises on her legs from her reported 1,000 men incident.
I wanted to show you the aftermath of my body after taking over 1,000 men, because I know a lot of you was concerned, but I want to show you.
For your mental health.
Not that bad. My eyes, not that red. My legs, on the other hand, that is an actual bite mark.
Thanks for clarifying.
I've got the odd bruises, and then here is just loads of, I think it's just from fingers, basically. But yeah, my legs do feel very sore.
Although, honestly, Bonnie Blue seems a lot more fine with this. I don't know. She seems a lot more sociopathic to me. Halsey eventually...
No, I genuinely think there's like a dissociation going on. I don't believe it. I can't imagine.
Ended up with a drug addiction and basically described herself as an absolute basket case. Eventually, she
Wow.
reconnected with
What a
her faith and left the
surprise.
industry, but not before she destroyed herself emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Halsey's hardships, if nothing else, serve as a cautionary tale for many of today's OF creators who are pushing the envelope more and more in this bid to, like I've said, carve out a bigger space for themselves on the platform, a bigger audience for themselves, as well as pursuing fame and fortune through doing kind of heinous things. Like I've said previously, I definitely think that there's a conversation to be had here about the emotional and mental and even physical side effects of this kind of behavior, especially—
I also think it's like a really bad angle to push for like women to say, oh, you should totally do this. There's just nothing wrong with what I did. And that they have been saying that. This is like an actual interview thing where it's like, oh my god, every girl should experience this. They've said that! Don't do that!
Because a lot of it is actually backed by evidence and by science. But that is obviously a conversation for another day. For now, and for the time being, I just want to leave you with a little bit of my anger towards all of this. I am aware that for most of recorded human history, women have been selling the things that they can do for men, so long as men have been around to purchase these services and pay women to do these kinds of things. As long as the horizontal monster mash has been a thing that people can purchase, there have been other people who have been willing to sell it. However, what's different now,
It's kind of a
obviously,
boomer, I
is
like
that
it.
with the advent of the internet, this is in our faces so much more than it ever used to be.
And it's desensitized too. If you ever talk to a kid that has like a Twitter account, and unfortunately kids can have Twitter accounts if they're over the age of 13, at least like, you know, without getting banned, you absolutely get desensitized to this kind of content, and you don't realize that it's really easy to get a grab of it if the algorithm sees it and recommends it to you. There's no fucking filters for that shit.
Even in the early days of the internet. Now, like I have said several times in this video, you have a little square in your pocket that means that you can access this type of thing all of the time. And because of how normalized it's become, it's showing up on regular social media for all to see. While I do try to keep my personal feelings more or less to a minimum in the content that I make, I am pretty upset by this, and I know that I'm a massive hypocrite right now because I've just exposed all of you to this, but I feel like if I have to suffer, so do you.
It's about education,
I'm very
chat.
disturbed watching these two women participate in this game of daddy issue tennis that they seem to be playing. All of this honestly makes me believe that parts of society are circling the drain, and that's
This also happens with streamers. Streamers never used to do this whole, like, I'm gonna endanger myself for views, and now it's come to, like, a climax. I know it's not, like, a one-to-one, but it's very comparable. Like, the guy that wouldn't stop streaming and locked himself in a room, the guy that was, like, endangering people's lives by driving. It's like it's the fucking retard Olympics, man. It's so fucking sad. It's just outdoing each other, trying to, like, hurt one another and hurt other people at the same time.
Pretty depressing thought.
Yeah,
if
like
I'm
Jack
being
Doherty.
real. But in the end, maybe we should all just grab a seat and grab some popcorn, because I anticipate, especially between these two women, that this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Pushing the limit is as old as time. Yeah, we used to push the limit on, like, building the biggest car engine or the biggest rocket fuel tank or the nicest wheels so that we could go extra fast. And now, because of how social media has evolved, the most disgusting or the most depraved or the most outrageous thing gets the most clicks and the most attention, and that's what it circles back to. We used to want to impress each other with not so heinous things, I think, like a long time ago, I feel like. That's where society's priorities are now. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's kind of sad. Like, it's definitely not gonna get better. It's gonna get real bad first.
Now, on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out MyHeritage using the link in the description.
MyHeritage.
I unironically love this service, and if you are somebody who is like me and you're really curious about your family tree and where you come from and your relatives and all of this, this is a very cool way of exploring that further. Now, open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Really, I am very curious to hear all of your thoughts and opinions about this because woof. Do you guys think that these women are in fact trapped in this one-upmanship back and forth game, this daddy issues tennis match?
That's gonna go forever.
Do you think that what they're doing is fine? It's just par for the course? They're just servicing a group in society who wants to see this kind of content? Do you think that it's overall quite terrible? Do you think that it's fine? And what do you generally make of all of these antics overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you are not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well as leaving this video a like and a comment because I do read the majority of them and I really want to hear your feedback about this one. As always, if you have a video suggestion, feel free to let me know. I do have a running list of those. But in the interim, in the meantime, I hope you wonderful, pretty people stay safe and well, and I will see you in the next video.
Yeah, good video. Smile. Haha. Very awesome. Woo! That was great, chat, right? Clappies? Slow clappies. Turkey arrested an OF model for trying something similar. Well, that's their country. They can do what they want. I feel like to a certain extent when you commit such self-harm upon your body, I feel like someone has to intervene because you're also not only gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hurt someone else in the process, probably. Again, I don't have a guarantee that she spread diseases, but it's just like, statistically speaking, with how statistics work, with how contraceptives work, with like, even with like the whole, oh, but she used a condom, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. You can still fall into this and get a disease, and then it goes on to the next person, and then yeah, it's pretty fucked up.